Hi there, my name is Graham. In Second Life, I'm known as Hrdtop75 Deluxe. I volunteer at the Virtual Railway Consortium. The Virtual Railway Consortium consists of members and groups that enjoy the railways around Second Life. They provide free open source scripts and builds for the residents to enjoy. In this series, I'm going to make a mesh locomotive from scratch using free software found on the net and open source scripts from the Virtual Railway Consortium. The reason why I'm making this series is to show you how it can be easy to make something from scratch and prevent DMCA takedowns. DMCA being Digital Millennium Copyright. But most importantly, help out newcomers to the railroads in Second Life. Join me live once a week, Mondays 5 PM Australian Eastern Standard Time, or Sunday 2400 SLT. The video will also be available for viewing later as well. But for now, let's get on with the build. Okay. 1 2 1 2. Microphone looks as if it's working pretty well. If there's any problems, make sure you tell me. Episode 7. We're into episode 7 now. And we've done a fair bit of work for 7 episodes. That's 2 hours every episode, 14 hours. We've done a fair bit of work considering I've just been talking crap. So, the last episode, do a bit of a recap. We done the UV layout. We actually turned the 3D image into a flat object so that we can take it over into an image manipulation program such as Photoshop or let's say Gimp. We're going to use Gimp. There's reasons behind using Gimp for me. I'm sure there's other programs you can use. I mean, I'm sure you could use Microsoft Paint, but if you want to look a little bit more professional, you'd probably want to use Gimp or higher. Why I don't use Photoshop is an interesting thing. If I was actually in a proper studio where I'm actually making 3D products for a proper video game or something like that, I probably would go out and spend the money, which is now a monthly fee, believe it or not, for Photoshop. Back in the day, you used to be able to purchase Photoshop in one hit, just one block. Boom, purchase it, and I think it was like about, I think the last time I checked it out, that was probably about 8 years ago, and that was about $1,000. You purchased a program and you had it for life. Well, turns out now Adobe's changed their theory on everything now, and they want everything to be done as a subscription fee. So when I'm only using Photoshop, maybe, let's say we've been doing these episodes now for 7 weeks, and we're only about to hit it now. So if you're doing a 5-day week in a job somewhere, coming home and Second Life's your second, I don't know, a bit of fun, the game you play after, doing your house chores. I can't justify paying for something that I'm not going to use every single month, or something that I'm not going to use every single day. That's where Gimp comes in, and I like Gimp. It's open source. It's got a lot of the things that you're going to need for actually creating good images. Let's go into Second Life right now. I'll put it up on... Oh no, I don't even have my NDI source up yet. Oh jeez. Silly me. I haven't come prepared. Capture, configure. I have not come to this prepared at all. I've been doing a lawn restoration now that I've got a lot of spare time on my hands, and I guess my mind's in multiple different areas at the moment, but I'm a lot better now than what I was, so everything is going good. I'll add a mouse pointer to this as well. Okay, so I like Gimp over Photoshop. It doesn't cost the earth, and I believe Gimp is also open source, so you can go in and check out all the different bits and pieces that you want. You can actually get into the Gimp website and add on tools. Now, we will be adding a tool into Gimp later on. That's going to be our, is it bump map or something like that? Yeah, bump map. The shine map's quite easy. You're just doing things in black and white. That's basically it. So we'll go and have a look into Second Life. I've got everything there? Yeah, I do. Okay. Have I got all my... Yep, I got all my sound and everything. Make sure I check this time. I actually made a few mistakes last episode, and I forgot to keep changing my scenes. Silly me. Anyways, so this is a locomotive here. If my computer wants to play, here we go, we're playing now. So this locomotive was actually textured in Gimp. It's not too bad. You can... Oh, actually, I don't even know if my settings are up high. I've probably got them all turned down. Yeah, I do. I've got them all turned down because the other day I went for a ride on the Second Life Railroad, and why did my whole stream just die? Whatever. Everything's looking good. Wow. YouTube's having a fit. Oh no. Oh, now we're back to normal again. Wow, okay. I hope it's not going to be one of them nights. I hope it's not going to be one of them nights. Anyway. So this was actually made in Gimp. There's a few things, you know, I think I could go back and change and fix, but you don't need to purchase a license to use Photoshop to do something that's going to look great from a distance, going to look great on the rails. You don't need something that's absolutely smashing red hot. So last time around, go into Blender. We're in Blender, yep. Go A to select everything on that map. I'll zoom in on it a bit further. So we did the UV layout last time and spread it all out. Now I obviously wanted this layout to be my own layout because I wanted specific parts, as I'm highlighting right now, to be the most dominant parts in the whole build. The reason why I wanted to do that, larger DPI or dots per inch when I bring it into Gimp. So if I've got a half decent photo, you can pretty much overlay it straight on the top and everything's half decent. It's not too bad. Let's actually go into Gimp now. Have a look around. Now, on my screen, or what you guys are seeing at home, that is what looks pretty standard on a standard monitor. Unfortunately, I've got it all crammed down, so it kind of looks a bit odd for me when I'm working with it. But I think over time I'll get used to it, so it should only take me 10 minutes or so. Now, to get that image over into Gimp, we go to UVs and we go export the UV layout. I've already exported it just so that I'm already a step ahead of myself. So I've actually selected an area where I want it to go to, which would be in a folder I've just labelled Second Life as a 48 class. Press it up there, make sure it's a PNG. Has to be a PNG. And there's all your formats down here. 2048 by 2048 is the largest size for Second Life. And we're going to export it as 2048 and we're going to keep it all 2048. So you go. Sometimes there's a little bit of a glitch here where you have to press around a few different little things here just so you can get to your export. As you can see there, it's not working for me. Now I've got an arrow. Now I can execute the export UV layout. So if I go now into Gimp, I can go File, Open as a layer. Hopefully, I actually better be a little bit safe with this. So I'll just quickly do something. So that's where my file's going to come from. Second Life, 48 classes, UV maps. I'm going to select it and open it in Gimp. It is a little bit hard to see, but that's okay. You can actually double it up if you really need to see the image even clearer. So we can duplicate that as much as you want on the right hand side, just to make it a little bit clearer. Let's go through some of the tools and options. It's pretty similar to Microsoft Paint. Very similar. You got fill tools, color selection tools, circle tools, square, rectangular selection tools. It's a very basic program. However, if you can zoom in far enough or make your image as large as you possibly can, you can actually get some really good quality pictures out of this program. The only thing that I miss from Photoshop was a selection tool where you could select what you wanted to delete and then have an auto fill button behind, and the algorithm would actually bring in an image to suit. And I thought that was pretty cool. But I'm not spending that monthly fee. I'd rather stick that money into my tier for Second Life, to tell you the truth. Now we've got two toolboxes. Well, technically a toolbox over here. Dockable layers, I think they call these things. So I usually run this image as a 3440 1440, but because I've got it scaled down, all of my stuff's undocked at the moment, and I pray to God that it stays on my screen too. So we've got layers on the right hand side here. You can duplicate layers, you've got PNG layers. Because we've imported a PNG layer already, it's already in PNG mode. Portable network graphics. Portable network graphics is what we need for uploading into Second Life. You can also use other ones as well. I think JPEGs also works. And I think TMP, I think it was from memory. I think that works as well, but I've found that PNG is so far better, way better. Less memory use as well. As you probably remember from last time, I've also, on my drawing camera, I actually went out and drew my map so I could understand it as I was making the UV. You'll remember that from last episode. I basically did that just so that I can look back at it later on. Say before Christmas, let's finish off this model, and say I want to make an exact model but with a different texture, but I can't remember what I've made the UV layer out as. Well, then I'll go back, have a look at my picture that I've drawn there. It just makes life easier. It's just something that I've done for a while, so I think a lot of my old drawings I've actually thrown away too, which is not good. Anyway, what are we looking into now? We're going to go back into Gimp. So basically, excuse me, I had a bit of a rough cold lately too. We're back in winter time again now in Australia. It was summertime last week. Now it's winter time. Guarantee we'll be in summertime again next week. So I've got the layout. I understand where all my gear is now. I think we'll have a look through here. It's just a lot of stuff here is pretty basic. Color matching on the top left. Eraser tools, burn tools. It's not really something that I use, burn tools. Smudge tools, they work pretty good. I don't mind them. I don't use them very often. Text tools. You've probably seen your text on some of these memes where they're like a white outer line around the text. We can actually do that here in Gimp, which is really good. Gradient tools. I actually use that on a model that I made for, I think that was for the Virtual Railway Consortium. I did a special build one day just to get it out there and have a bit of fun, and I used the gradient tool so that it was like sun shining on top, so the lighter side on top and then darker shades on the bottom. I just picked the color that I wanted and then just used the gradient tool, and that really made it stand out. That was really good. Am I going to use it this time around? Probably not. A lot of tools here. What have I got here? Path tools. I like the path tools. They're excellent. You can actually go in and select a certain area. Then we can go over to the channels and select paths over there. do an outline. You probably see outlines around your text, as I was just saying, outlines around people's images on YouTube thumbnails. You'll see them there as well, which is pretty good. And YouTube's having a bloody fit again. Wow, I don't know what's going on there. Anyway. Well, it hasn't cut out on me, so everything's pretty good. You got flip tools, so we can flip in previous times. I really should have opened up another image as well, being that image for the train that it's there in Second Life. Being this one, I should have opened up this image so you could see what I actually previously did. I believe on this model here, what am I doing there? Alt. I believe on this model here, I actually used a map that was upside down because it was so straight and smooth. I actually kept it. I actually kept it upside down, part upside down for the left-hand side, and I think it was the right way up for the right-hand side. So the flip tools over here in Gimp, they work a treat. Let's actually pick a layer and I'll show you what I mean. We don't need both of these layers. So we can go to flip, choose horizontal or vertical. Let's go vertical. Bang, flip it upside down. Now obviously you wouldn't do that for Second Life, but you know, highlight that. Delete that layer. Now, we've got our full image here. We've got view tools. We can view up here. This is something that I'm going to be using a fair bit. There is actually the buttons on the number pads over here on the right hand side. And they might confuse you with Blender, you know, being left side, top side, things like that. So I'm not actually going to use that. I'm just going to go zoom in, zoom out with the plus and minus keys. I think that's going to be a lot quicker. Imaging, scaling images. We're going to be scaling quite a few images in this. We're going to scale some of our images that we're going to use for our sides. I haven't got any top images yet, but I think I might just try and fudge it. So I'm not going to use auto crop because we're already in a 2048 and I don't want to auto crop anything. Files, that's just all your locations, saves, things like that. Copies and pastes. You know, say if I've just got my left hand side here and then I've gone, oh, I want that down here as well. Copy it, paste it, and then obviously we're going to be flipping it because left hand side, right hand side. Inverts. Well, there's a good possibility we're going to invert our image for our shine map. A very good possibility. I'm not going to do any zealous crops or anything like that. We're going to try and steer clear of cropping. All the layers, all the options are over here, and you can right click on them as well and get extra things. Right at the very end, we're going to remove the alpha layer. For some reason, and I think this problem's been around in Second Life for quite some time. If you've got an alpha layer and you're traveling, it actually makes the alpha layer underneath. Like this track bed doesn't have an alpha layer, but out there on the Second Life Railway it does. And you'll actually find that it'll be flickering on your screen, and we want to try and avoid that. We really want to avoid that because that can actually cause you to crash sometimes as well. Gotta click back onto here. selection tool there, just the crosses, or move tool. It's always handy to just go and grab that one. With uncroppings. There you go. There's a whole heap of tools here. I've actually got a tool here that we have put into. Oh, geez, where did I put it? Well, we're not going to be anywhere near it anyway. Selection, path, no. Was it filters? Map, there it is. Map, normal maps. So that's the plugin that I've actually put into this program. And I'll definitely show you how to do that. That is a must. Now, we can go in. I think pretty much everything's there. Everything's right to go. Recently docked items is empty. Dockable items. So this is all on the side here. Dockable items. This is all in your palettes here. Tool options, layers, it's all there. So sometimes if you're flicking around things super quick, you can actually dock these things and then you're like, oh no, where's all my tools gone? Then you have to go back into Windows, check your recently docked or dockables and go from there. But that is enough rambling, I reckon, for now. We're still running? We're still going, aren't we? Yeah, very good. I can't see the time. Oh, there it is, 28 minutes into it. Okay, I reckon it's about time we started adding some images. So, that's our main image we've imported. Once again, all your tools are there as well. Duplicate the layer if you need to see it a bit more. Eventually we are going to delete them layers, so it's not something that you're going to have to stress out about right now. For now, I'm going to bring an image in. So file, open as a layer, I think it was. Pretty sure it was as a layer. 48 class. Indian red. And there was an image here I was going to use. I think it's this one here. It doesn't want to give me a preview. On the right hand side there's usually a preview. So we'll open it up anyway. 5.6 meg. That's the one. I'm going to select that image on the right hand side. Make sure you've always got the image selected. It's something that I can't stress enough. You have to have it selected. We're going to scale this down so that it's actually here on the job that I want. Okay, so this is now its own layer. And there it is there. It's going to ask me to anchor it. I probably won't have to anchor it, but anyway. I'm also thinking that image is, well, still too big for starters. Let's get that down to a workable size. Okay, now this is an image that I've pulled off the net. I haven't taken this picture. So I'll make sure I put credits and everything in the out there. This is actually 4807. I'm pretty sure it's either found in it's either Canberra Railway Museum or in the New South Wales Railway Museum, which is at Thelmere. So I haven't quite figured out whereabouts it is yet, but anyway. Now, once again, we've made our UV map nice and flat. Everything is flat as a tack. There's no, how do you say, you can actually hide that layer just by highlighting that there. You can see all of our images here. a square. Everything's perfectly square. But our image here is not square. So this is where I always start off. I try and find something that's going to be square-ish. And you can see how far we're out. It's all in proportion. Like perspective mode, it's pretty. I hope perspective is the word I'm looking for. Anyway, it doesn't taper down. Everything's square. So as you can see, that is not square on my. Wow. That is not square in Gimp, that image. So I'm going to go to that layer and select all. Hopefully that's select everything. Yep, it has. I'm now going to go to rotate, because I don't think it needs. That should. I've only moved it like 0.6 of a degree. Rotate. Okay, that looks pretty good. I've only moved it a little bit, just because there is times I've moved. Oh my god! Control Z to move everything around in here again. See, it's asking me to actually anchor it now, so I'll anchor it just so I can use my other tools. You can always Control Z to go back, and you can see 0.06. Oh, sorry, 0.60 is perfect for the tilt. So this now should all be square. We'll go and choose the handrail, I reckon. Handrail, which is right there. And that should line up with there. Okay, and the perspective needs a bit of work. So, top of my screen, I'm going to use view to zoom in. I'm going to go to 100%. This is going to be a little bit hard because you get a little scroll thing down here. Because I'm in a really low screen at the moment, I'm not using my full screen. I need to shuffle around to actually be able to see things. So you can see the distance here. I've chosen from the floor. Or on the other side here, I've chosen from the floor. Man, these dockable things. Okay, floor to the handrail. This is a handrail, it's all the way around. I've chosen that as my square. I'm now going to come down this end of the locomotive, and you can see the exact same rail, which is square all the way along the locomotive, is not square here. So one side of the locomotive, view, zoom, 50%. This side of the locomotive needs to be increased. And this side here, we're just going to leave that. So, highlight the layer, select all. And then we're going to find this tool. There it is. Perspective tool. There you go. I got it right. I got it right. How good am I? Now I'll bring this over here just so you can see what I'm doing. It's not going to give you the perfect perspective change. You're going to play around with this for a little while. So we'll go a little bit out that way. I like to try and keep it square. I'm going to bring it down this way a little bit and keep it square once again. Okay, and transform. That's going to ask me to anchor it once again. And once again, I'm going to select the floor to the rail, the handrail, and test it again. You can see there's still a lot more work needed. if anything, I think this part here needs to go up. And I think this part needs to go up too. So if we go view, zoom 100, scroll across to the right hand side, you can see that that floor is now lower and the rail needs to go up higher. So go back into view, zoom 50, just so we can see things. I'm going to choose my perspective tool once again. If I'm going too fast as well, or if I'm getting a little bit too technical, just tell me to pull my head in as well. And I'll slow it down and try and make things as easy as I possibly can. Select the layer, select all, perspective tool. I'm just going to raise this one up and keep it square as possible, which I don't think is going to happen, but anyway. Transform. That looks out of proportion to me. We'll anchor it. Floor to the rail. Down the guts. It's looking pretty good. View, zoom to 100. Okay, yeah, it needs a little bit more work. You can see how the floor now is, I think, just that little tiny bit of work bringing the floor down and everything will be square. Another way we can check the square, go view, zoom 50, and we can go, which should be square, should be. Let's pick floor to that pinstripe and we'll go across the pinstripe. Yeah. So the bottom of that floor needs to raise up a little bit, and that should shrink that pinstripe back down to the bottom, and everything should be pretty good. You could probably go up this way, or you could bring this one down. Now that I look at it, select all. I might bring the top down just a fraction. Try and keep it square once again, and transform. So I'm now going to go back in, do the exact same thing, anchor the layer, pick a point to the rail, floor to the rail, and we're square. Now we've got a usable image. Yep. Everything's looking good. Once again, we'll test that pinstripe. Should be square on the floor, both sides. Yes, we are. Pinstripe. Cool, not too bad. That's not too bad. We've now got a square image that we can actually use. So view, zoom 50. Push this out of the way. I could probably go 75 on that zoom as well. Zoom, I think it's plus, isn't it? Zoom in, plus. There you go. That should be 75. So, yeah, that's right. Pinstripe, perfect. Handrail, pretty good. Not too bad. Okay, select all. Now you can see how much I transformed it. You can see how the page kind of droops down the side here. So there's a fair bit of editing that we've done. Now let's grab, this is going to be a hard part. I'm going to duplicate that now just to be safe. Just so I know what I'm looking at. Select all on that new copy. Oh, what am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? Select all. There we go. And I'm also going to go over to my layers and reduce the opacity, because I've got a funny feeling I'm going to have a problem with lineups. Now, I better explain what I'm talking about first. I want that whole side of the locomotive to line up with this here. So when we go back into the model, what have I done? Cancel that. There we go. So when I go back to the model, I'm going to go into, oh man, I've forgotten how to use this program already. Control 1, Control 3. Okay, there you go. So I want that image to flow perfectly all the way around. A to deselect, go into wireframe mode. So we know what we're doing. We're in edit mode, wireframe. There we go. I'm worried that if I chop this part out of that picture, which has got the, you can see that handrail now, that's in white just across there. I'm worried that these images here, the vents aren't going to line up. So I might have to cut it here and there and do little bits and pieces just to try and make it fit. So that's where the fun comes into it. Put that back up there. So we've got an opacity of 84. Might go a little bit lower. And in the end, you never know, we might not even, how do you say, we might not even have to worry that much about it. Maybe I'm overthinking, because I might be able to just copy and paste the vents over the top and everything might be all right. You never know. So I'm going to grab that. And I'm going to go into full mode. Go into selected mode, yep. Right click, edit, copy. I'm going to select this here. I'm going to move the layer up to the top. Hopefully it'll let me do it. Nope. Move layer. Nope. Nope. Okay, we'll just reselect that later. Sometimes I like to confuse myself. I'm going to select that layer, the copy of the layer. Select everything, press delete. You can still see we've got that layer underneath it. That's one thing I didn't actually explain. I'm pretty sure everyone knows what it is, but so when I'm talking about layers, it's like having multiple sheets of transparent paper. And I'm going to add things on top to make it look the way it is, and you'll see that in the layers on the right hand side. So we'll go back to and you'll see that over here on the right hand side. Now I'm going to go back to my top layer. I'm going to go to my selection mode. I'm going to select that piece there, all the way across, as far as you possibly can too. And I'm trying to aim for all them flat sections. Just got to try and remember that everything has to line up too. I'll actually go a little bit further up there and a little bit up here, just so that I'm not copying the chassis across. Okay, make sure you got the layer selected. Edit, copy. I'm going to go down to this layer here, edit, paste. Okay, so we've started. Now I want this image here to line up here. So I'm going to go to my opacity and I'm going to bring that down just to see if I can get it to line up. Okay. Well, this is not looking promising. This is looking a little bit dodgy, to tell you the truth. I'm going to line that up to here. I've got a little tool over here that's missing off the window as well. You can actually unlink this so that the width and the height actually change. So to unlink the chain. And I've got to try and figure out what the hell I'm up to now. Here we go. I'm just going to quickly have a look at yeah, I've got the left hand side, everything's there is correct, and scale it, and it looks like I'm going to have some slight problems. I'm going to have some problems. Okay. It's just a little bit out. And I think what we'll do, so you can see there that line there should be lining up with that line, and that there should be lining up as well. What I'm going to do from here is do the stretch again, but I'm going to drag it in a little bit from this side and drag it out a little bit this way. It's a lot closer. See, we've lined up a few here. Actually, they look as if they're too short. They do look that way, don't they? Yeah, you can see where the vents are too low. The vents are too low all over, because I think I've cut it too high off the original image. So we'll go back into there, cut it once more. Scale it. Okay, that's lined up a lot better. It's still a little bit, I don't know if you can see that down there. It's still a little bit out. That's not too bad up there. Okay. Let's put the opacity back up. You gotta always remember to put the opacity back up too, because once you anchor it, that's it. She's done. Anchor. Now, I want to copy parts of this across into here just to make it a little bit further out. But you'll probably also notice now that I've pushed the image up and above and into the next. So I was going to delete that, but I think I'll just leave it for now. I'll just leave it for now. I am going to have to move this here across the side, because these vents aren't lining up now. Which I'm thinking I might do something dodgy with them. Let's leave them for now. Okay. Grab that. We're still on the same layer here. We can duplicate this layer. Duplicate. We can also rename our layers so that we don't get confused. So let's say this one here is our edit layer attributes. And here's our name. And you'll notice I've still got my map here. So my drawing cam. And we've got the rear part of the locomotive, left hand side. So if we go back into there, I can now edit this layer as what I've labelled on my map. We go rear dot left hand side. I think that's what I called it. Okay, go back up to this one. So I've now selected the duplicate of rear left hand side. And let's say I want to move this layout here now. I want to copy this and move it down. I'm going to go to the new layer, the duplicate. Actually, I better rename it now, just so I'm not playing silly buggers with myself. Edit layer attributes. Bring that down here so you guys can see it. And we'll call it rear dot right hand side. It is handy to actually have all these layers properly labeled as well. Excuse me. It makes life a lot easier, and it's also less confusing if you do run into a problem as well. So I've got the right hand side selected, so we go select all, and then I'm going to, actually you could even use a selection tool, square selection tool, drag that down. Okay, so that's going to be our selection on the rear right hand side, and then I can go my selection tool, right hand, edit, I can go cut, and then we can go paste. Get my selection tool, move this down, and that there should line up half decent, but obviously it's going to give us some technical difficulties. I'm going to now go to my flip tool over here. Hopefully that's highlighted, you guys can see that. I'm now going to pick horizontal, flip horizontal. I'm obviously going to have to do a bit of work off camera on this, because I've actually got, how do you say, vents on this side that are not necessary. Actually, no, they... I'll have to go and have a look at another picture. I'll have a look at a picture later, because I think one side of the vent is needed, the other side's not needed. One sticks out, one doesn't. So anyway, So I'm going to go back into 100% opacity. I'm going to anchor that. And then I'm going to go to, just because it's overlapping, and it's actually overlapping into the next image. So highlight that one, and you can see right there, it's overlapped. I'm going to go to, hell, that's where I'm going to go to. I'm going to select my original UV map. I'm going to edit that so we know what we're talking about. Blender dot UV layout. Yeah, that'll do. There you go. Okay. We know what that is. That's the original layout. Okay. Now we're going to go to hide both of these other that we just done. I'm going to select my tool and select where the image was overlapping, or whereabouts it was, yeah. I'm going to go into the, oh god, what side was it? The right hand side. Yep, that's the one. And then we're going to delete that. Oh no. Control Z because I didn't highlight the right layer. And there we go. So now I should be able to go select all, highlight the rear, left hand side as well. And now we've both got both sides there, nothing overlapping apart from the top here. Go to left there. Delete that off the top. There we go. Nothing's overlapping apart from over here now, which is part of the vent. Well, I betcha that would be Microsoft telling me that I'm just going live on YouTube. Yep. Wow, that's only an hour late. Thanks, Microsoft. Okay. I also wanted to increase the size of over here. So what I'm going to do, and hopefully this is going to work for me, I'm going to pick the top one, which is the left hand side. I'm going to have to zoom in for this one as well. Shift some things around, highlight the left hand side, and I'm going to grab that, copy, and paste it, and then pray to God I can line it up. She's not going to line up for me. There's a little bit of the layer that wasn't actually perfect. As you can see there, we've got a problem with the handrail there, which we're going to actually delete later. But right now, that's not my problem. What have we got? Fronts and sides. I'll leave the cab till very, very last. Zoom 50%. That roof is going to be the exact same color as well. There is a dodgy way of doing this, which is going to be fun. We'll highlight that. And there was a whole section that we just deleted. We can try and put that over the top. View, zoom 100. Pray to God it works. I don't think it's going to work that well for us. So I've just selected that. I'm going to try and select it all the way to the end. This is not an uncommon thing to do because it's very hard to find good quality pictures all in the same sunlight and things like that. Go here, I collect this off this one here. Make sure you've always got it selected. Select that, edit, copy, select all. See if I can duplicate that. Yes. I'm going to select that and edit, paste. There it is. View, zoom, 50%. Now that's actually facing the wrong way. I'm going to flip that horizontally. And I'm going to select it, drag it up here. Now, I know this is going to cause pains and dramas, so zoom in about 100-ish. Move some things around. About there. Scale it. Just so it's overlapping just a little bit. And obviously we're going to have to come back and do a lot of shading and texture work on this later. So if it's not 100% perfect, I wouldn't stress out about it. Now you can see how absolutely horrible that looks. We can fix that later, but at the moment we just want to blanket the whole UV layer. Try and get as much on there as we possibly can in a perfect position, and then we'll use some brushes to fix it all up later. And usually the brush work is the easiest part as well. Takes a little bit of, if you're good with colour, you'll have no problem whatsoever. You can see I've actually had a little bit of problem with that too. View, zoom, 200%. You can see how when I scaled it, it's turned a little bit transparent on me. So I'm going to go Control Z. It's just going to scale it a bit larger. To hopefully just cover it up a little bit better. Yeah, that's better. View, zoom 100. No, sorry, 50. We're using 50. We're using 50. There's my layer, don't forget, it's right there. Okay, so basically what we're doing is we want to make sure there's no transparency at the end of the day. I'm definitely going to be going through the image, make sure that everything is filled in, and then right at the very end, what I'll do, actually we can do that now. I'm going to select that Blender UV layout, duplicate it. Okay, I'm going to select all, delete it, and then we've got a color picker up here. Select by color. I'm going to select our picture, one of our pictures anyway. Oh, I just found a problem too. I just found a big problem. I'll select this one here. We're going to go to the bottom rear left hand side. Yeah, that looks about right. Yeah. Color selector. Just pick a color there that looks half decent. I think that looks more like the color that I'm after there. Nope. Control Z. It should be an eyedropper. Sorry, I picked the wrong tool. There it is. Because I've scaled everything down to suit my screen, everything's a little bit jumbled up for me. Actually, that color there looks better, right there. And you can see over here, that's the color that's now selected. So, I go back to my copy of my Blender layout, use a fill tool, and just fill it in. That could be a lot darker actually, that looks horrible. That looks horrible. Select my color again. Pick a darker color. Here we go, that one there, right there. That kind of, what? Right, this one. There we go, that's a bit better. Okay, fill tool, back to that layer, fill it in. Could still probably be a bit darker. Yeah, doesn't matter. At the moment, we're not going to use that right now anyway. So basically now we don't actually have any transparencies on the screen, which is pretty much what we're after. Just quickly change that again because that's going to upset me. Fill tool, back to the layout one. There. That kind of makes me happy inside. Yeah, turn that off. Don't need that right now anyway. Now, as I was saying, I just found a problem. So if I actually select layers here, I can turn them on and off for viewable, just like we did with that layout in the background there, like that. I've just realized that my rear right hand side the rear right hand side, left hand side, right hand side. Yeah, it's that one there. I've actually got a piece here that's duplicated and I forgot to delete it. Make sure you got the correct one highlighted. There we go, that's better. You can see it disappeared from up here on my layers as well. Now, I want to start looking at not the inside cabs. Oh, there's a part there that I haven't relabeled that well. Oh no, back to Blender. You can always go back to Blender and check things. Okay, go to edit mode, solid mode. Go to face mode and just select what you need so you can figure out what the hell's going on. Okay, so that left hand side is the top part right there, top part right there. Which means that this here is the front. It is too. There you go. So across the top of that map in Gimp, you got the front section, front window, driver cab, driver's outside, driver's front. Okay, so let's go back to our picture here. Let's take the front end of that off. I can see a problem already that's going to give me dramas and I'm not going to be happy. However, I'm going to actually steal part of an image off here and use that as this wall here. So I'll go view, zoom, 100. just so I can see a little bit clearer what I'm doing. I'm going to make sure I've got my right. Actually, I'm going to duplicate that layer there. Duplicate it. Drag that up the order, if it lets me. Oh, okay. What's going on here? Let's go select all and delete. You used to be able to move them up. No, doesn't matter. Go to select. Now that's hanging out there. I don't want that in my image. Select. Try and get as much as that as I possibly can without grabbing that window. Edit. Copy. Edit. Paste. View. Zoom. Where is it? Where is it? Should be right there. Where is it? Okay. Let's go Control Z. Okay. Blender UV. Select that. That's already been selected. Right click, edit, copy, edit, paste. What's going on here? Control Z. Ah. Oh, wow. This is where a little bit of patience is always good. So, there's my first mistake there. Select where you want to copy from. Edit. Copy. Now I've actually copied something. What a joke. What a joker. Now I'm going to go to the map, the layer where I want it to go to. Edit and paste. Okay. Now hide that. And it should... Why is it doing that? Okay, run into a problem. Running into the problem. So I've obviously done something wrong here. 100% yes, yes, yes. Copy. Paste. You can see it still hasn't done it. Even if I anchor it, it still won't be there. Oh, there it is. Why was it just having a fit? It's there. Why? Okay, let's just move it up the order, see if I can... There we go. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Okay, select it, go edit, cut, edit, paste, hide a few things so we can see what we're doing. Try and get that up there. I'm going to have to get into that part, that section a little bit later on and clean this up because I've overlapped it. Scale. Okay. So right now, actually we'll copy that as well. Edit, copy. Anchor the layer. We'll go to the front part, which will be here. Edit, paste. Into the same, yes, it looks that way. Horizontal flip, so it shoots the other way around. Bring that down. That needs a little bit of scaling. Yeah, it sure does. Not 100% perfect, but I think that'll do the job. And we'll anchor that as well. Okay, start naming a few of these layers. Edit layer attributes. I think we'll call this background color. Left, yes, yes, yes. Right hand rears, yes. Rename this one. Front side. Rename this one as well. Top rear. Okay, so now we can actually, we've got a fair bit of detail there now. View, zoom, 50%. What time we got? 20 past. I reckon we just keep going for now. We'll keep going. I reckon we'll add both the cabs in, I think. So let's go and duplicate another tab. Duplicate. Move that up the order. You can see by moving it up the order, I've now covered things over. Move up, move down, move down, move up. I'll move it all the way to the top. Select all and delete. Edit the layer attributes, which is just changing the name. I'm going to call this cab outer. Both sides. Okay, so now I'm going to go and open this one up. Old matey's going to be in there. Now this is going to be an interesting one. I'm actually going to cheat. 100, go to 200, maybe 200 will be good for this. Okay, I'm actually lucky his arm's not... Holy crap, that dude looks like Michael Rosen. Wow. Oh, there you go. Nice. Okay, so I'm going to select this cab. And I don't know if you've noticed this or not yet, but I haven't actually selected the right layer. Now I have. I'll quickly move that up. Select the layer. That is the left hand side. Edit. Copy. Edit. Paste. Okay. I'm going to go and hide that. That's too funny. He looks like Michael Rosen. I never even noticed that. Check this out. Go find him. Michael Rosen. It looks like that guy. Nice. I like it. I like it. Alright. Turn that off so we can see that image in the background. View, zoom 100, 50 for what we're looking at. And I need the left hand side, which is the top one. We'll grab him and we'll move him up. View, zoom 200, yeah. Move a few things around so I can see what we're doing. Now this window is going to be a pain. I can see it now. I can see it now. I don't think it even lines up. That is the joy of... Oh. I might have just got that in. I think we might be alright. Bring that back up to 100%. We're going to copy that. Copy. And for some reason, there it is right there. Anchor. Okay. Go down to the other one, which is down here. Edit. Paste. Drag him up because it should be reasonably the same. Should be. Highly likely, unlikely. That wasn't English, was it? It wasn't proper English. Now we're going to go the flip horizontal. There he is, side to side. Now, let's make sure that is actually on there. Here comes the fun part. I want to select something and then flip it back the other way. This is going to be pretty tricky. This is the only thing I hate about the 3D modelling part of things. Only thing, everything else is great. I grab that and we're going to flip that back. Because keep in mind that there, sorry, is the front. And we've pulled this off the other side, so we've got to rotate that and that in the same position. So we're going to transform it horizontally. And we'll come back and clean it up with the brush tool. Come back, select here. Oh, sorry. You can see how just by flipping that, it's actually changed the colours around there. So we'll do a little bit of clowning around and everything will be alright. Go to 400, I want to go in a little bit closer. Hopefully we'll get away with not having to fix this piece up. Flip horizontally. There you go. That's half decent. Anchor. Okay, and then you got cabs. Both sides all done. Oh, excuse me. So there you go. Now what we'll do is clean up around that lettering a little bit. View, zoom, 400. Need to get in pretty close to this job so we can see what we're doing. A little bit too large. Opacity's fine. Size will come down. Maybe about 10. No, that's not too bad. See just how just that little bit of brush work just fixed it up. As you move around the model too, just keep clicking with that tool there, which is your color picker. Pick I don't know about there. Go back to the airbrush tool. Just clean it up a little bit. Sometimes just blending it makes it look just as good. Let's go to, you can see the straight line difference right across here. So I'm going to pick this one here, airbrush it out. Sometimes you can take it a bit further just to make it look a little bit more better. Well, more better. Wow, English speaking skills are going down the drain. Let's pick a bit there. We'll go to airbrush. I like the airbrush because it feathers out a little bit better. It how do you say it? It doesn't it's not as square edged as say your painting tool. The painting tool is like it's pretty nasty. Me personally, I can see the line through there, but I'm not super stressed. We'll go to there. We'll go to the airbrush once again. That's cleaned it up. Airbrush once again. We'll choose about there, and we're going to reduce the size of this to airbrush 10. I reckon maybe 5. Whoops, not opacity, turkey. 5. Okay. That's a bit better. That's a bit better. You can see how just fixed it up just a little bit. But if you blow it up and bring it into second life, you'll see that. Just because you've watched me do it, you'll see it now. Color picker, once again. Try and pick a color where the image is a little bit shady and chonky. Go into airbrush once again. Just try and get rid of that straight edge. It's that straight edge that gives you away. You can see the straight edge across the top there too. Go to there. Airbrush. There you go. View, zoom, 100. You wouldn't even know I flipped it. Oh, there's still a little bit of a straight edge there, but you wouldn't even know. View, zoom, 50. There you go. So now we've got two Merkle Rosens. What time we got? 6:30. We've still got, that's all cabs, inner cabs down the bottom now. So I'm not stressed about that. What's that? Front and rears. That'll be a new image that I'll have to bring in. I could probably work on that there. Actually, that'll be a little bit harder than I think. That'll be a new image. We'll do these two parts here as part of the front. Actually, I don't think I've got a rear image of this either. Might be hand making something. Dang. Vents, we can copy vents across. Do that. Let's go back to that drawing. Front, the rear, the vents, the roof. Well, that vent over here, I need that to be coloured. View, zoom 100. I need this here to be coloured. So what we'll do is we'll grab that one, duplicate it, and I might put this one down low. Yeah. Select all, delete. Okay. That there is. Oh, I've done it again. Okay, so basically I've duplicated my background color, and when I'm talking about this vent, I'm talking about this up here. That is part of this here. Deselect that. There we go. So that's where we're going to select. That's going to be dark because we're going to put 2 layers of prim onto that. So we go to Gimp. I've already selected the layer for it. We can select the circle tool. I'm thinking just a standard grey colour Doesn't have to be too fancy. I think the colour black is too pure. Sometimes painting just standard black, just it's a bit weird. You could probably even airbrush it on, just to give it a little bit more weirdness, I guess. Make it a bit darker in some spots, not others. Maybe even go there, select a different colour, bring the opacity down a bit, give it a bit more of a weird shade, give it a bit of a dirty, grubby look. There you go, there's a love heart there. There you go. Oh, how cute. Okay. Vents up the top here. No, they're not vents, sorry. They are part of the cab roof. They are part of the cab roof, which we'll try and copy off the top of the sides. Geez, I hope I got a front picture of this thing. And what's that there? I can't remember. Oh, that's the inside roof. Front, rear. Can't remember what that is. More vents. Let's snake top of the top. Let's duplicate that. Select all and delete it. Rename that to cab top. Top cab. It's off screen. It always turns up off screen for me for some reason. I don't know why. Okay, there's a really good. I should have just. Actually, I might do that. You can see down here, you got more room here on top of the cab to get a good texture from. I'm thinking I might snake that and do multiple passes over the top of the roof. So I want a little bit of texture from the top as well. Just to dirty it up a bit. And that's on there. Edit. Copy. We'll take that to the top cab. Paste. Oh, that's terrible, isn't it? That is terrible. Control Z to get rid of that. I don't like it. Control Z. What I might do is come back and select a majority of this again and shift it over. So we'll go about there. And then I might clean the image up later on. Make sure you got the right area selected, the right layer, as I did not just then. Copy, top cab, edit and paste. I'll shift that up to here. looks pretty good. Might push it up just a little bit so that line's not on there. And we'll scale it to scale. And then we'll bring go anchor. And then we'll go paste again, edit paste. Pretty much the same image, no need to stress out. And then we'll go, you're not going to be able to actually see the top of that, so we'll go there. Stretch it out and hopefully scale that, should be fine. And anchor. So it's to the point now, 15 minutes to go. It's to the point now where we've got a lot of image. And we can actually start to see what we've done. Obviously some bits and pieces are going to look really good on the model and some of it's not. So from here, yes, I do have a lot of image that is not needed, and it's still a transparent image, so it's not going to work for Second Life. However, we can now actually view it in Blender. So if I go File, Export it as, might just quickly do the safe game again. Okay, I just didn't want anything random to pop up that YouTube wouldn't like, so forget class. I'm going to call this the top texture. Cab body, yeah, that'll do. Cab body texture. Just name it something that you're gonna know what it is, you know. Oh, that looks good to me. Okay, so we're going to export an image. We're exporting it as a PNG. A lot of this stuff here you don't technically have to really stress out about. Compression level, I tend to compress a fair bit, especially when it comes to YouTube thumbnails. I'm always compressing them. When it comes to textures for Second Life, I do as well. However, you probably could get away with less compression, but it might make it easier for other residents to actually see your image. So that's just saving away. Let's go over to Gimp. Is it Gimp? Blender? Blender. Go over to Blender. So everything is still looking good over there. we are now going to go to image, open an image. Actually, we'll select all this stuff here. Select the whole lot. Image, open an image. I'm going to go to UV maps, that's where I put it. And I'm going to open that one. Aha, she's turned up. Very good. So A, deselect everything. There's our image. So that's pretty nifty, right? You can see it up there. We're now going to go down into this model. Go A to select all. On the keypad, I'm just press the delete key to get in closer or to center it on the screen. We're going to go into texture mode. Then we're going to go into object mode. And that's what we've got so far. So you can see it's it can be a bit tedious at times. However, what we've got there doesn't look too bad. Obviously, I've got a lot of things that we've got to add. Like we're going to have to. Oh, geez, look at the numbers. We're going to have to move them. And you can see if I go to Control 3, I think it is. There we go. You can see how that pinstripe doesn't line up. The handrail doesn't line up. So we're going to have to cut that image out and shift it up. I'm going to also cut them rails out. You can see how the rails don't meet up. Otherwise, it's not too bad considering it hasn't lined everything up properly. That roof, you can see how just yuck. Ugh. Don't like it. Haven't quite figured out how I'm going to go about that yet, but we'll smooth it all out. We'll do something with it. So, from now, or for now, we can go back in and start lining things up, which I think would be a sensible move. I've obviously got to move. So I think we better stretch that. I'm thinking stretch the cab, because the actual numbers aren't lined up correctly. Both sides, stretch them. And raise both front images. Because we don't have anything to line up on the fronts, but we do in the rears. And that's them vents I was talking about. The 1-2 vents. Obviously you can see there, I tried lining them up, but they didn't line up that well. So we can go back into Gimp. And I reckon we make them larger. I want that number to be lower. I don't think I'm going to get that just by moving the image either. I'm definitely going to have to manipulate that big time. It looks a bit dodgy from the front, but once we get a good image on the front there, I think we're going to be laughing. Absolutely laughing. Actually, this is going to be a good looking model. I think it's going to look great. On the keypad, I'm pressing 5 to go in between ortho mode and perspective mode. Let's get back into Gimp. Both of these cabs here need enlarging. So we're going to top cab, cab, front side cabs. cab out of both sides. That's the one. And I guess we're lucky because it's on the top layer there, and then I can delete around them. We're going to go to View, Zoom, 200. Got to go back and see Smiley. And I might actually cut that out a little bit too. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll just chop it down a little bit and then repaste it and scale it out. Yeah, because we needed more on the back side. Yep. Cab outer. I'm going to go to selection tool, right click, edit, copy, edit, paste, enlarge. Make sure you hit it. Bring that down that way, and bring that down to there, and scale. And pray to God old matey stays the same so I don't have to edit out all of this windows and stuff. Fingers crossed anyway. Anchor that. Going up to the top now. Let's do the exact same. Make sure you got it selected. Cut him down a little bit further here, but more down here. Edit and copy and paste, and just bring him up a little bit and bring that down and scale. Hopefully that's lined it up a bit better. Anchor layer. We also had a problem with, if you remember, these fronts. I'm going to, we needed to raise them. That's what we needed to do. Make sure you got the right layer selected. I've got to keep telling myself that. Copy, paste. Hopefully this lines up. Hopefully. I can come back and fix how it's duplicated down here. We'll fix that up later. There we go. Just drop it. We'll go down to select the exact same one on the opposite. Selection tool, rectangular selection tool. Going on down there. I like to do a lot of my lineups, my image lineups here, so that when it does come to deleting all these rails and things like that, everything's lined up. I don't have to stress out about that later on. You know, when I copy and paste things and move them around, and everything's just good. Edit, copy, edit, paste. We're going to have problems with this one too. I lift it up about the same. Yeah, good enough. And anchor. Okay. Front side by 2. I'm going to use a selection tool because that's overlapping the top part now. Delete it. Then I'm going to bring back all my things that I want to see again. Like that. And I'm also thinking that roof, it was so hideous. View, zoom 50 so we can see the whole thing. How shady and ugly that looks. It's just terrible. I'm going to go into the side views, select all. I'm going to go to the color picker. And I think I've picked the lower piece there. Yeah, I have. I'm going to select that color. Go to the top. Layer. And spray it. Opacity at 100. Yeah, 86 should do the job. Actually, I could probably go a little bit finer on that spray. Whoops. See, about 79. I just didn't like them silly shiny spots. Just look stupid to me. Clean them up a little bit. I'm still on the top mode. Yeah, I am. Okay, it's kind of smoothed it out a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't look too smooth, like as if it's going to be a solid color. I don't want it to look too smooth. Okay. We're already there. Yep. We're going to go File. And then we're going to go Export to the same image that I've just done. Let that do its magic. Now keep in mind that all I've done is flatten the image on a separate file. I haven't actually saved what I've done. The file, I'm going to save it as texture x.xcf is the Gimp file. I'm going to go into Second Life. I should have gone into, I'm going to just put it in here as a .xcf. .xcf, yes, yes, yes. And why can't I save it? Yeah, there it is, there, save. Okay, so that's all saved for next time around. We've also exported it as a PNG. I'm going to go back into Blender. Now we're going to see a change in the height here. Actually, we'll go into Control 3, was it? There we go. There we go. So if I now go into Image, I should be able to reload image. And it's just a nice quick way of doing it. And there we go. You can see how I've... Jesus, that looks ugly. Oh, God. That looks terrible. Yuck. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Yuck. Okay, we'll have to do some work on that. That image, it's kind of lined up now. A little bit. I think it needs more work. The numbers on the locomotive now fall into a little bit better place. Actually, I could probably put up with them numbers being there. I could shrink them down, but anyway. You can see how that image here, it needs to go up just a little bit more. And then we can start getting all fancy. There we go, go into that mode, you'll be able to see it better. And you can see now we've got this massive problem with an image separation up the top. So I'm going to have to work on that as well. But then again, I can always grab this color and we can always put another layer over the top and delete bits and pieces and smooth it all out as well. So it's not a massive problem at the moment. But that's where we're at the moment. That is where we're at. Control 3, perspective mode, also mode. And that's where we're at. We're on the top section. Everything's going alright so far. Everything's going alright. I still have to do a little bit more work on that roof, but just smooth it out, get it all just looking a little bit nicer. But for now, we are gonna save everything. File save. And get everything ready for next time around. So, what are we up to? So we've done a lot of work in the last, in the last couple of episodes. We've done a lot of work. I didn't expect that UV layer, the mapping and everything, to go as quick as it actually did. So far off the image, everything's looking pretty good. Like perspective, as in lining up vents here and things like that. I have had problems in the past where I've had to chop images up into like 5 or 6 different images, stretch little pieces out and stretch this and that, and then try and make it look seamless. But I think everything's going alright with this so far. I'm pretty happy with it so far. Obviously we're going to get into the real super fine details later. I've got to find an image for the front and rear, which is going to be painful. We probably won't even need the actual locomotive. We could probably fudge it. I don't think the actual numbers and everything are on the front and rear on the main body. I think they're just in the LED lights. That's going to be something that we have to look at next time as well. Still got a lot to go. I was actually planning on doing the model for the top, the model for the bottom, then doing UV layout, and then loading everything up in one hit. But I think we'll definitely go back and do everything for the top, come back and do everything from the bottom, because I've always found that if I'm learning something, it's always good to revisit, and it kind of sinks in a little bit easier for me. So we'll do the chassis next time around, after we've finished this piece off completely. Put the chassis on underneath, and then we'll do the bogies, the fuel tank, the light fixtures, a few little bits and pieces, and then at least we'll have something on the rails. And then I reckon by Christmas we'll definitely have this completely 100% finished off. So far everything's looking pretty good. Everything's looking pretty good. But for now, time to do some job hunting tomorrow, so that's where we're at. Well, thanks for watching, and if you're learning Mesh and you're enjoying it, don't forget to like the video, or come down and say hello, or do whatever's going. If there's any questions just in the comments there, or question me in World. I should still be online. And yeah, let's get into it again same time next week. That's 2300 SLT on Sunday. So, I'll see you next time.